All right, get ready for this one.
What up, Gomertrons? This is a little crazy.
Yep.
Probably going to reveal a few secrets on this one.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. One, two. Oh, sorry. One, two, three. Click. All right. One, two, three.
One, two, three. You're listening to Overcoming Runner's Block, a Two Gomers podcast about regular people chasing big goals, facing their excuses and barriers, and inviting a nation along for the run. This is Block 36, Code Brown, for July 29th, 2022.
Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Overcoming Runner's Block. This much anticipated episode, I should say.
Is it? Okay.
We've been talking about this for 14 years, dude. Okay.
Yes,
This
definitely.
is Anthony speaking, one of those two aforementioned Gomers, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, with my friend Steven, all the way out in Flagstaff, Arizona.
So this is another triple record day for us. We're banking episodes.
Yep.
We
So we're
just
traveling.
record.
We got
Yeah,
summer
we're
travels
traveling.
coming up, and
Yep. We just recorded a super long, super heavy episode that people have already heard about, the Flux Epiphany.
yep.
I mean, heavy, but also like pretty deep and personal.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Code Brown.
Now something totally different.
A hard left turn. And actually we don't have much time. I know we always say that, but
Yeah.
we're gonna go right into the block because this was a very situational. This has happened before, right? Like
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I just ran hills. Let's record an episode about hills. Or you're like, oh, I just ran through smoke, and so let's
Yep.
do one about fire. This is one of those episodes where it's been on our list since the beginning. We should probably do a Code Brown episode.
Mm-hmm.
But then something happened, and I was like,
Oh no.
now is the time.
So Code Brown. Okay, so I actually looked it up.
Well, I was going to ask you, this might sound like a pompous question. We didn't make up Code Brown, right? That's not a Gomer original. That's something that runners
No.
say. Okay.
No, that's something that runners say. I don't know that it's official or technical. I wonder if it's like in Runner's World or anything like. I'm sure they talk about this in Runner's World.
Oh, I just had a memory of a listener telling us about it
Okay.
early in the podcast saying, do you guys know what Code Brown means?
There you go.
It means, and then he told us, this is my memory, but we have come to know that it means when you basically know you're about to poop your pants on a run.
Right. I think I saw a blog when I looked it up. It defined it as exercise-induced GI distress.
Okay. That's the nice way of saying it. We will not always say it as nicely on this episode, I would say. So if you're sensitive to such things and this is not something you want to hear two guys talk about for 45 minutes, you might want to skip this up. I guess all that to say, Mom, you might want to skip this episode.
Yeah, just skip this. I do want to at some point go like be out on a run and stop at like a Starbucks or like a Quick Trip and be like, excuse me, can I use your restroom? And be like, why? And be like, well, I have exercise induced GI distress.
Wait, in this situation you're talking about, the Starbucks employee is asking you why you need to use the
Okay,
restroom.
fair point. Well, okay, no, I guess you would just
maybe they just want the information about why is it that you want to use our restroom.
be like, I just need some time alone.
Right, that could be.
No, yeah. Maybe you just say, excuse me, may I use your restroom? I have some exercise induced GI distress.
Oh, you just offer
There we
that information.
Yeah.
Right, whether they want it or not.
Gas or solid?
Has that is what Anthony is referencing there. Is that I was not allowed to say fart when I was young.
All right.
So no matter what, whether it was poop or a fart, we called it poop. So again, this announcement of what you've just done, I would come into the room and I would say, I pooped. And Alex would say, gas or solid. Which, in my opinion, is no better than just saying fart.
Right.
Because the conversation is lengthened. You're dwelling on it longer. But yes, gas or solid is in the Grommet vernacular here at my house for sure.
Oh, it's you, since you were here for the race, it's totally in our vernacular too. We love it here. We should just put a trigger warning at the very top of this episode.
Yes.
We'll do that. So if you're listening to this episode, you already heard it. So if you're still here, then you're good with all this.
But we are going to be talking about bodily functions, not only in theory, but in practice.
Yes.
During this episode. Because, we
practice.
There are a lot of podcasts out there that will talk about running, theory of running, and the best way to do it. If you know one thing about the Gomers, listener, we tell about actual experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be getting some of those.
Yep.
So this is you were kind of kidding about this at the beginning, but we have talked about this for 14 years. And a lot of our listeners have wondered if we're ever going to do a full ep of Runner's Block on, what was it? GI?
Exercise-induced GI distress.
Right. And so this is it, folks. Get ready for our Code Brown episode. Now, I was also going to ask, like, how many times have you ducked into a Starbucks while you're running?
Yeah, so there was not a Starbucks. Actually, never a Starbucks while running.
Okay.
I should have. I was like racking my brain.
Yeah.
Portalettes.
Yep.
Many times. Those blue beacons of heaven.
The oasis in the desert. Yeah.
It's like just it is a gift.
Yeah.
So the blue beacons,
Yep.
there was this one like bathroom that you just knew of, like a gas station that was on my Florida route.
Yep.
And if there are runners listening to this, you plan your runs with those in mind.
This issue
Yep.
of having to go to the bathroom,
Yep.
saying it nicely,
Yep.
while you're on your run is is it the shared experience? I feel like among runners, like everybody has a story. I feel like
totally. Yep. Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I think people like us talking about it, is because everybody has a story like this, and it's not always shared.
Yep, it's embarrassing, but it's funny. Like, it's a book. Everyone poops, right? It's like and honestly, I'll tell you the truth. Like, when you talk about this with people, it actually makes everybody feel better.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's uncomfortable and gross. All those things notwithstanding, it makes everybody like, oh, you feel like that too? Oh my gosh, that makes me feel better. And because this actually is kind of an anxiety-producing thing.
Yeah.
It produces anxiety, which produces the results. You know what I mean? So it's like a weird cyclical thing. By relieving anxiety, by talking about it, you will actually have to do it less. Does that make sense?
It's a circle of poop. I think what we're talking about right now is a circle of poop. Everybody knows that term.
Yep.
We're talking about right now. So I was gonna say it's like everything on Runner's Block, right? When we face a block, it's a rarely talked about thing that everybody deals with, that the power that it could have power over us, but we choose to talk about it, and that takes a little bit of the power away from it to keep us off the streets. All that said, we are going to tell some stories that might keep you on the couch for the rest of your life, because it is an issue. We want to talk about it in real ways. We're going to get to some tips. I have some tips at the end. But you were saying when we were thinking, so what happened was something happened to me. I'll tell you the story in a little bit. I texted you about it. I said, we need to do a Code Brown app. Then you said we should include a past story, right? Is this how it went? We should
Yes.
look for the clip of you telling a story about it. So we each can tell a story, but the past you. And so then you found that clip and we're going to listen to it first.
Okay, great. Yes. Do we need to set that up at all?
No, I'm going to share my screen, but let's see here. So, but it's a little bit odd, right? Because we're going to be listening to it on the 10th anniversary episodes that I talk about every single friggin' week that people should be listening to. And
Uh-huh.
so on this, we are listening in 2018 to a clip we recorded in 2010 or something.
2009, I think, even.
And our present selves are going to be listening to us listening to that clip. Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah, so 2022 Gomers,
Yeah.
2022 two Gomers are listening to 2018 Gomers listening to 2009 Gomers. So there are 6 Gomers.
Yes. So don't be confused. I can't imagine why anybody would be confused by that, but don't be confused. I'm going to play a clip that's going to sound like it was recorded in 2009, right? Through the tinny little tiny microphones on our laptops.
Yep, the little dot. Yep.
Then you're going to hear slightly better audio quality, me and Anthony laughing at that clip. That's us from 2018.
Yep.
And then if the present day 2022 Anthony and Steven have anything to add, I will probably pause it and we can comment on it as we do. Okay.
Perfect.
So totally easy to understand. We're about to listen to a clip that we recorded in 2009 about an experience that Anthony had, Code Brown.
Yep.
Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Can you hear that?
Thanks.
Yep.
So my tip this week is don't eat more than an hour before you run, I think.
Okay.
Dot.
Because like I think one of the times I ran, I ate within an hour, and maybe it's just because I'm crazy and I have issues, but I didn't feel that good.
But what did you eat?
I think I ate a Hot Pocket.
I think there's a different tip in this somewhere.
Maybe just don't eat Hot Pockets.
Or if maybe it's what you eat an hour before you go.
Okay, I'm pausing this.
Okay.
Was that Hot Pocket audio clip was that inserted originally 2009? We were already doing that.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah.
Okay. I also like that you think you're weird in that clip because something's weird about you that you would respond badly to eating a Hot Pocket and then running.
I'm weird. Yes, right. This goes again to like people think that they're the only one that deals with this.
Right.
And I think that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Right?
I really found that interesting. That you would say, maybe I'm weird, but if I eat a Hot Pocket and run, it's not good. Okay, I'm going to click play here again. Let's keep listening. So far, so good.
Yep. So I got back up, started running. So now I'm 2 miles away from my car.
Yeah.
And any bathroom. And my mouth is tasting horrible. Which is just a problem.
Everything bagel.
Why? And you've also included that soundtrack to this clip.
So dumb. Okay. So we've gotten better at podcasting over the years. I thought first of all, I think I used to think like while we were telling stories, we needed music, a bed of music, right? We've talked about that.
Because we thought we were boring.
Yep.
I really think we thought we were boring. And so sometimes if we had a long running story, we would include stuff like that. Now, all that said, I just listened to our you tore your calf muscle episode, and you can't help yourself still sometimes. Like whenever you hear a Seinfeld, whenever you reference a Seinfeld thing, how much time do you spend on this? You have to go find that clip.
Because I love it.
That episode was so packed with audio clips.
I should show you the screen grab of what it looked like.
Sometimes you do take a screen grab of it, and I'm like, dang, dude.
Yeah. Why did you do that? Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's keep listening. I just had to comment on that. If I lay here soundtrack, very 2000.
I did listen to that song on that run, though.
Oh, so that's probably why. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, and we may have been talking about that earlier, and we did Songs to Run too. But I also like the way it stops and sets up this audio clip. Like,
Okay, yeah, that's about to happen. So listen for this thing that Anthony does in the edit. That's really good.
Yeah.
And now I'm 1 3/4 miles away, and I have the urge. I gotta go, dude.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Number
The last time was number 1. This time it was number 2. So I'm
Oh gosh.
I'm 1 3/4 miles away from any bathroom.
Yeah. So what did you do?
And feeling dead. And I'm wearing those new shorts that don't even have any underwear in them.
This could.
That's the detail I like most for some reason from the story. New shorts with no underwear in them. Does that mean you're not wearing any underwear at all?
No, it's built in.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
I
the
see what you
built-in
mean, yes.
underwear, which I still hate. I don't like that.
You don't like those, right?
Do
Okay.
you like that?
Sometimes I don't like it when it's mesh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's when it's
Yep.
nice and silky. All right.
Okay.
By the way, this is our 2022. This is going to be so confusing, but who cares? It's fun. All right, here I go.
Okay.
Trouble.
So I just start running as fast as I can to it. Because I'm like, I gotta get there. Erin's laughing over here. Just trying not to laugh too loud. I haven't told her about this.
That's funny. that
And
Aaron's
I
actually
get to
there.
like the
in the
3/4
room?
mile mark, and I can't run anymore. Like, I need to walk now to make sure everything's okay. Like, pay major attention to my body and make sure everything's cool.
Like, okay, with what? Your legs or your bowels?
Bowels.
And you
So,
really screwed yourself up.
Yeah. So my body's now the worst feeling it's ever felt.
Right.
The most tired it's ever been. And I'm 3/4 miles away from the thing. And so basically that last 3/4, I just prayed as hard as I've ever prayed for anything in my entire life.
Bet nothing would happen.
Yeah. So now I'm about a half mile away from the thing. So I reached the half mile marker. And I try to run again because I'm like, I gotta go now. And I look in front of me and there's a biker. And I look behind me because I'm like, am I gonna have to go on the bridge or something?
Did you say, get off the bike? And you rode the bike?
Yeah, that would have been a good idea. No, I look behind me and there's a runner girl. And I'm like, this is gonna be the most embarrassing thing of my entire life. So like, I walk, I am praying to the Lord Jesus so hard, dude. And then these horrendous cramps set in. So I try running and I just can't. But dude, so basically the Lord came through and I just made it.
So there's a bathroom there by your car on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lord
yeah.
who sees.
Yeah. So no code
Thank
brown.
you, Jesus.
It's a great story.
Mm.
And I think it really, again, this kind of like we were talking about this on the last episode, like kind of the naivete of early in our recording, where we just explain things pretty well how it feels. Like you were saying, it's the hardest you prayed about anything in your life.
Just to not have to go on the bridge in your weird little pants.
Your special pants you bought just for this occasion. And
It's with the, yeah, you can't even rip those out.
No, right?
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Like,
You
if
ruined
something
the short and the underwear. I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it goes back to what we were saying, which is every runner feel like if you're a runner and you're listening to that story that 2009 Anthony was telling, you know that feeling. Like the worst thing in the world is about to happen to me. Is there more?
Yep.
Should we listen to
There
more?
actually is. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep listening.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's the 2018 us.
we were ready for a half marathon, I guess.
Oh, this is
Oh
2018.
my gosh, dude.
Yep.
Okay.
I have not listened to that
No.
since.
No, me neither. I didn't remember a single thing.
Nope. I mean, I think we've listened to that clip of my first run several times.
Yep.
Even
I
recently, I think on
remember
a
that.
special,
Yeah.
we did.
Okay.
But and I mean, I remember these things happening.
Uh-huh.
I think I don't remember the ins and outs of your bridge thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, I didn't either. And it's like, it's so weird because it's like listening to yourself say something that you would totally say.
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense?
It was sort of like, wow, I would. That's exactly how I would have put it, but it is you. So,
Dude, just a couple real quick thoughts.
yeah.
One of my favorite parts is like had forgotten that as you were running in your khaki shorts, there's like an audience. You know what I mean? Like people in strollers, people out on this like nice day, and
Yeah.
there's this
Oh my gosh.
guy. That makes me laugh super hard.
I think it was probably dating it even more. It was probably cargo shorts.
Yep.
You know, like
Total dad
today
short.
I'll wear a
This is
khaki,
2018
right?
us.
Yeah, that's
but
weird.
It's a 2018
Why do we
khaki
sound so
short
bad?
where there's no
Yeah.
place to.
Why do we sound so bad?
I don't
We had
know.
not. We don't have these mics yet.
No. It sounds okay, but we still sound younger, dude.
We really do.
But there's another clip that it keeps going. That's why I said to keep going. But
Okay. Should I look
we
for
come, yeah, we come back in.
Hammer.
it? But that's us. This is us coming back in, right?
Yeah, keep going, and
Okay.
if we can edit
Right.
it.
Right.
Okay.
No pockets.
Yeah.
And it's
No
like
hammer
has to
hole.
be above the knee. Like what I imagine are like really big
What's the timer
cargo
on right
shorts.
Yep. Oh yeah.
31.
So like almost to ankle. You've seen those like
yeah, right, exactly.
There's
Possibly
something else
like with
happens.
those zippers.
now? I know it.
unreal. Now I have almost 7 and 3.
Nope,
Three,
keep
you're
going.
right.
Keep going ahead.
Keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
Eat an hour
No.
before I run now to fuel.
Totally. Yep.
But
We
but
while we run for longer runs.
that's true. But to get to the bottom of that clip to figure out that it was a hot pocket that you had eaten.
Right.
When's the last time you ate a hot pocket?
Man, and I'm pretty sure that was a lean pocket, dude.
Okay, good.
If I remember right.
Yeah.
Flush pocket. Yep. I can't even remember the last time I guess we walk by them in the freezer aisle when we pick up our breakfast sandwiches, the
Yeah.
Jimmy Dean Delights.
Right.
Those
The
are good.
new hot pocket, Jimmy Dean
Dude,
Delights.
by the way,
Yeah.
Gomer's tip, there's a new Jimmy Dean Delight that is
Okay, this is dumb.
like a frittata.
So when let's. I think we should edit. Probably
Yeah,
back
I'll edit.
right after we stop the clip. I can't
Yeah.
remember what we were
There,
saying.
something happens. There's 2 more minutes, but we can just skip it. We can just skip ahead. It's okay.
Okay.
Sorry
Okay.
if anyone who's watching the 13.1.
Yeah.
There's something else that happens, which is why I said it kept going.
Huh.
But don't worry about it.
Okay.
Let's just come in.
Okay. How should we do that?
You can just be like, say what we sounded like or something.
Okay. So we did have like that short. Sorry, this is not recording what we're doing right now.
Okay.
Like I was telling about the thoughts about how it really was what people think
Mhm.
and feel. Even back then, we're good at saying how things, but I can't remember if that was after or before we were done listening. Dang it. You're just gonna have to edit it in, I guess.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. All right. So this is 2022 us again.
Yes. Welcome back.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's a fun clip. I really like it. And it really shows what it was like then and what it's like now. And
Mhm.
so I want to get to the story of what happened with me.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay. So some things never change, I guess, even though I don't think I've had an experience like that one that you were talking about on the bridge for probably 10 years.
Good. Yep.
I've been doing pretty well managing my GI tract.
Yep. You're not having exercise-induced GI distress lately.
And actually, it's Jessica has been struggling with it more than me, which is a very odd turn of events. But
Well,
maybe it's just like an aging thing. I don't know. Like,
you know, this would be an interesting one actually to have Erin on too at some point. I mean, not to throw her under the bus, but I'm honestly after having kids, she's this is probably more one of the reasons that she doesn't run than anything. Like,
yeah,
it messed her up.
I've talked to Jessica about that too. Also, like, yep, there's just something. Everything changes in your body, right? When you have a kid,
Sure.
I've heard,
Right.
and this is one of them. So, yeah, it's an issue for a lot of people, and so we want people to know we deal with it too. Just when you think it'll never happen to you again. Okay, so this was last Saturday. Jessica and I were on our Saturday run. We were going 6 miles, and so it was an out and back.
Yep.
So we had gone out 3 and we were coming back and we were about 4 in total.
Okay.
And I was
you're
like
2 miles away from
2
home.
miles, right? That's important. 2 miles away from our car because we had driven to the run. So 2 miles away from our car and then another 10 minutes or so home drive. Nowhere close to a bathroom. In fact, this is a road that kind of goes through a neighborhood. And so there's not even a gas station close.
Yeah.
You know these. So about 4, I was like, it was so sudden, bro.
See, that's what scares me. Okay. But you're in residential. That also residential. That
on our left side are houses and on our right side is a forest.
Okay.
So there is good news there that will come back around, and I'll tell it to you. A national forest on my right.
Yep.
Neighborhood on my left. But this is a fairly trafficked road for runners. Okay. There's not a lot of car traffic, and that's why a lot of runners run it, including us. And it's a great view. You can see the mountain, and it's a beautiful place. Suddenly, it comes upon me, and I'm remembering last night I had pizza because we still don't have a kitchen, and so there's a lot of pizza happening.
Yeah.
And this is Saturday, and so pizza is Friday night, right? We've talked about this a lot. Friday night pizza. Yep. Plus, I had gone to see Jurassic World Dominion, a very bad movie that I liked a lot. And had a bad day before then, so I was like, I'm just gonna have something out of the Coke Freestyle machine, which is always fun, right? So like, you can't say no to these things or I won't say no to them.
Right.
So I had buttered popcorn, which is historically bad for my stomach.
Okay.
And a big cherry Coke.
But so good, dude. That buttery popcorn.
Oh man. I ate a lot of things that I should not have eaten.
Yeah.
The night before a long run. Usually if I have a buffer day, I'm fine.
Yep.
But even when I was at your place for the race, I was like, I can eat pizza on Friday night because the race isn't until Sunday.
Yep, totally.
But that was not the case. So all of a sudden all those things flashed through my mind. The pizza, the popcorn, the pop.
Yep. Ooh. PPP.
Triple P. There was about to be another
triple
P.
D.
Several
triple
other
D
P's coming.
Leads to triple D.
So I was like, it was just like on that bridge, dude. But I had Jessica with me and I was able to say it out loud. I'm not going to make it.
Wow.
It was just like, I'm embarrassed to say. And so you try everything first. You stop running. You walk, right? You breathe as if that will help.
Just
and
hold it.
It's just this cramping, pushing down toward the ground. And I could tell there's nothing solid happening in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's
Missy used to call it the squiggies.
Okay, well, I was experiencing the squiggies, and I'm taking a page from Laura's book and pinching that penny, if you know what I mean. Like, maybe this will help just to physically press together. And then you're just walking like Danny DeVito in Batman Returns, right? Like it's just, you look so dumb.
Yep.
And luckily there was a break in the traffic of runners. So Jessica just said, just go into the woods.
Mm-hmm. Into the woods.
Yeah, into the woods and out of the woods. This was about to happen. So I went into the woods a ways, but it's not thick foliage because these are, like we were talking about in some episode, these are high coniferous pine. And so there's no leaves until the top. And so I'm behind kind of a thin trunk. You're working the angles. You know what I mean? Like,
as long as like your anus is covered.
Right. What is the thing that I least want people to see?
Yeah, totally.
You're doing that math in your head. What's the most devastating thing that people could catch a glimpse of? Because I can't go very far.
Right. Yeah.
Because this is an immediate need. So, and also, I have nothing with me.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You're not carrying wipes and a
no.
change of
So
clothes.
You're thinking about the future repercussions of having to go another 2 miles on foot.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So I just have to do it, and I've done this behind a dumpster in a city. There's all sorts of places, and so relative privacy, I guess. And Jessica is standing out on the road, kind of like keeping watch, but to what end? It's not going to do any good.
Yeah.
So there were several people that ran by, and I don't think they saw me, but Jessica's standing there. So that's a question I have. If you see a person just standing there, I automatically assume they're running with somebody that's in the forest right now going to the bathroom.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of like, it's like the person behind Tom Cruise in the plane in Top Gun, where you can't, the chair doesn't swivel, so they're constantly looking back behind them in weird, awkward ways. And so I just go as fast as I can, but it's not fast enough. It's just taking way too long.
Oh gosh.
And I'm finished. And then you have to deal with, like I said, with the repercussions of what you've done.
Look at what I have created.
what I hath wrought. So the only thing is you just pull the pants back up. So Jessica, now this is going to sound bad at first. Jessica was an American Indian Studies major, and her major really came in handy here because she knew she had taken a class on like how Native people in the past have used the land, right, to their benefit. So while I'm out there, is looking for the right kind of leaf.
Wow.
So she does find a plant that, and I just have to fully trust her here because you don't know whether this could really be bad.
Oh yeah, if this is something, I mean that's straight out of City Slickers, right?
Right, exactly.
And I'm developing some sort of rash. Right.
So she assured me this is a plant that you can wipe with, and so I did as well as I could. Sick. But it wasn't good enough, and so we ran back for another 2 miles, bro.
Oh man, bro.
Just talking about, what did Missy call it? The squiggies? Talk about squiggies.
Yeah.
And then we have to drive, and Jessica was like, you are not going to sit in the passenger seat. So I have to ride home in the car, crouching backwards in that in the passenger seat, with the seatbelt like on the back of my knees, just in case she gets in an accident. And whenever that happens, whenever I can't put my seatbelt on, I say to Jessica, "Don't get in an accident." And she's like, "Why do you always say that to me?" I'm not going to get in an accident. I never do. And I'm like, no, but for sure this time don't.
This time don't. Yeah.
What if she did? I have to explain myself. Or the airbag goes off.
Yeah.
So it still happens. Now, okay, so this was the other question I had for you. that's a code brown to completion, right? Code brown is the actual like warning,
Right.
this happened.
Okay, sure. Uh-huh.
So I don't know what that is called, but it
Okay, yeah, because you texted me that Saturday afternoon. You were like, dude, it finally happened. I had a code brown to completion, and I was
I think that's how I put it.
No. So like, because you're right. Code brown would be like an indicator light, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
Like, wouldn't the code brown being like you telling Jessica, I'm not going to make it?
That's the code brown.
Or is the code brown like we have a code brown, like meaning it has happened?
I probably think different runners use that differently. I remember early in the podcast and throughout the podcast, we primarily have used it as the warning, like that well-known feeling and shared feeling that all runners have a story about, where they're like, I'm not going to get home.
The squiggies.
And I would say mostly that's not true. Mostly I can get home somehow. I remember though, one time I had to stop at a gas station and you could see my house from it.
Yeah. Oh, totally, bro.
Like I can't make it another step. Thank goodness that it's not another block that I have to go. I couldn't go 200 feet. Thank goodness for this gas station.
Well, should we just talk about what happened in high school?
Oh yeah. You mean the Inquirer?
Yeah.
This finally is another Anthony story. But I mean, this happened a lot in high school, but well, and by the way, if you're a Patreon subscriber, one of the videos you can watch is me telling the story of when this happened to me on top of a ladder 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Because of Chick-fil-A. Okay, but let's hear the high school story. I love this story.
Okay, so I'm in men's choir.
Men's Glee Club.
Men's Glee Club. No, it was
men's choir. You're right.
Yeah. And standing next to Alex and Chad. I mean, like, and I just, like, in the middle of that choir rehearsal, you just get the squiggies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like we knew our bodies then. Right? Like,
in certain ways we did, but we didn't know ourselves.
You were discovering your body. Right. But this is a time of learning. Like, don't have that weird a time of discovery.
And what you were learning in that moment was, squiggies.
So like, no, it was because I think I had discovered coffee. Like, I was drinking coffee then.
Oh,
then, like,
that's interesting.
Breakfast sandwiches from like Quick Trip, just like wretched meat.
And men's choir, a lethal combination.
Totally. Yeah. That's the trifecta of like disaster.
Everybody knows what's going to happen at the end of this story.
Totally. Yeah, so probably coffee, Quick Trip sandwich, men's choir. Got the squiggies. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I need to be excused, right? So, and remember there was the bathroom down by the Performing Arts Center.
I sure do.
And then, then there was the one all the way across the. So like
you had to go through the commons to the next bathroom. Yes, right? Through the cafeteria.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
A long ways away. Right.
Yeah, where everybody's studying and
right, exactly.
Ready for the day.
All of the most popular and pretty people are sitting there just like being popular and pretty. Right. Okay.
Just looking cool.
Yep.
And I'm in my tour band t-shirt, Verona High School European tour. Cool. I remember. And like Umbros or something. Yep. Got excused, and I like it was a timer. 10, 9, 8, 7. Right, it's code brown alert. And so like I bolt to the bathroom, and then remember the bathroom was locked.
The bathroom the closest to us was locked that morning for some reason. Yeah.
Yep.
So you hit the door, right?
Yep, I hit the door hard, locked, and then just everything just left my body.
And it's pretty fun to watch Anthony reenact this in real life. He's not doing it right now, but it's like, boom, boom, right? Like you hit the door. He's gonna do it right now.
Here, there's the door if you're 13.1. So I'm like running 10, 9, right? You should count it down, dude.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For some reason, his legs are spread way out. Yeah. And then now he's walking like you would walk in that situation. And then isn't the kicker of this story that you had to walk through or did you just go home?
No. So now I had to walk all the way through. So we're talking about like a football field away.
And
through
full of football players.
Full of football players and cool people.
Yeah.
And you got a full diaper. Except you're a 16-year-old kid.
It's the stuff of nightmares.
It is. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. It is interesting. Everybody has to do this.
Yeah.
And my guess is that everybody has a story where they're like, whether it's running or not, whether it's like, this is happening to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be the most devastating thing that's ever happened to me.
Yep.
And when pressed, people have similar stories like this.
Yeah.
That they will tell you if they're in the right mood or the right inebriation or something, right? Where these things can come out. Literally.
Yeah.
So I do have some practical tips. Can I just only 3 tips?
Yep, I have some also.
One of them
okay,
go ahead.
Before you get to the practical, I would say that actually, since we're in the block, and that was hard to tell that, but that's fun. That was literally a core memory.
Oh yeah,
like Inside Out, Blue. No, what were the bad core memories?
Oh right, yeah.
Or were
the
they
combination
colored?
of like, yeah, I can't remember what color they were, but yeah, I know what you mean. A combination core memory. Yep, and it turns brown. It's a brown memory.
I mean that's like trauma.
Yeah,
like no joke. And core memory, and like I'll confess that is like one of my top blocks we've never even talked about on the pod, but like that is a core memory top runner's block.
Right. Yeah. Because the thing is, and this is what we're if you've made it this far, it does happen.
Yep.
We're not going to lie to you, and
beep happens.
Right. Forrest Gump knows. Yep. That we're not going to lie to you and say that this doesn't happen, and so this is a risk you run, right? Like, So I do think that there are. You shared a tip in that 2009/2018 clip, where it is a great idea to watch what you eat leading up to a training run or a race.
Totally.
Hot Pockets probably aren't a good idea. Neither for me is pizza.
Yep.
For me, sugar is an issue. That just kind of softens everything up for me. And it's just, it's not, I just need to be careful about that. Overeating before a run. We talked a little bit about hydration during our cramps episode, like coffee, the aforementioned coffee. You probably need to be careful about that. So for me now, before a long run, I get up, I try to be up an hour and a half before I run, have some coffee so I can get some caffeine and work that out a little bit so that I can take care of what I need to take care of before I run.
Yes.
So it's pre-planning.
That so I don't know if we're on this email thread or not. The first time we did our first half marathon, and may have told this story before, but I was emailing with my godmother's sister and brother-in-law. Okay. About having us all stay. This is great, actually. Having us stay with them for the race.
Okay.
the first race, because remember we ended up getting a hotel, and
Right.
Alex surprised us, and my dad and Judy
Oh yeah.
surprised
Yeah.
us.
It was the right decision for sure.
Yep. And so I was emailing with them. They I think my godmother must have said, or my mom, like, hey, can Anthony and Aaron stay with you for this?
Yeah.
And then I was emailing with them, and I was like, they do the race every year.
Yep.
And so they said part of their way of doing things is that they always I think it was the man. He was like, yep, I usually get up at this time, and then I have some coffee, which helps clean the pipes.
Okay.
That's how he put it.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. Is he
Uh-huh.
was like, I have coffee 2 hours before the race, and that helps clean the pipes.
Yeah.
And like,
I agree with that.
is a great tip. Now, I remember I responded to that. Hey, also my friend and his wife and his 2 kids were going to come too. Is that cool? And-
Spring that on him.
Yeah. He goes, what do you think we are, running a B&B? No.
And that was the end of that.
That was the end of that.
Yeah.
So,
The
that
problem
clean
is
pipe-
with the cleaning the pipes thing is a great concept, but you do, like I was saying, you have to pre-plan for that, because
Yes.
what happens is if you drink coffee and then go right away, that pipe work
Mhm.
happens mid-run.
Sure. It may what's that called? Break the seal. Right?
That's for sure. Yes, there
So-
was a lot of seal breaking that happened to
Uh-huh.
me on, and it was like, yeah. So I think that general tip there is watch what you eat and watch what you drink,
Mhm.
and some of that takes just a little bit of learning
Yep.
what's going to be good for you and what's going to be bad for you. The second tip that I have is on long runs, it does help to map out restrooms,
Yep. Map
just
it
in
out,
case you were talking about those porta potties, the oasis in the desert, or
Right. Yep.
McDonald's doesn't give a rip if you go in to go to the bathroom.
Mhm.
The worst is what happened to us at the race, where we thought we were going to be able to go to the bathroom in that gas station, remember? And it was
Yep.
like customers only.
Yep.
And I thought, that's it then. I guess I'm going to pee on that car outside.
Totally.
So when you're mapping it out, make sure you're mapping out restrooms that you can actually use.
Yep.
And then this is a tip out of what I wish I had done on Saturday, which is, what's the harm of bringing along a tissue or two for emergencies? Like,
Yeah.
if you've got a fuel belt that you use, just stick a couple squares in there, and you've got a square to spare.
That's it.
They'll
like
put the
that. I mean,
Seinfeld
that-
clip in.
Yeah. That I'll look for that one. That would have helped though.
Oh yeah.
That would have helped.
There are some times when you're just like, if I could go back in time, I would do this differently, right?
Yep.
Just if you're bringing a fuel belt and you use the same one over and over again, right now, just put a couple pieces of toilet paper or tissues in there.
I'd say
And-
put wet wipes in there. Wet wipes.
Oh, that's a great idea. Wet wipes,
Do
those ones
wet
that come in
wipes.
the individual packaging.
Yep. Do baby wipes or do wet wipes. Do something like that.
Great tip. I love that.
Okay. Actually, so I had 2 tips also.
Okay.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 letters and numbers.
Okay, let's hear them.
GOB4UGO. Go before you go.
Great idea.
So
And we've
that's
talked
the
about
con-
this in the race, right? Like, get in line,
Totally.
go, and then get in line again and go again. That's a tip
Yep.
we've said like 100 times in the past
Totally.
14 years. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So go before you go. I
Mhm.
actually am a big fan of the clean the pipes thing.
Yeah.
And then my other tip was just to know thyself
Mhm.
again.
Yeah.
Because you know the things that mess you up.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get a nervous stomach for just no reason.
Right.
You know, you're like, I don't get it. Like, so then that would be with the plan it out or map it out.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, because emergencies happen, crap happens.
Yeah.
And maybe I wonder if a bonus tip could be like, I was thinking about this being like a judgment-free zone, maybe with other runners at least.
Yeah.
If you see it happening, just dude, there but by the grace of God, go you.
It could be you, and it probably will be you or has been you, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And you see all the videos of these things happening to like pro runners, or if you've ever
Totally.
run a race, you've probably seen something like this happen.
Yep.
A long distance race. Remember that porta potty at the end of our first half marathon, just
Yes.
full of dirty underwear.
Oh, so sick.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's one of these things we want to defeat the stigma of it. We're not saying just go out there and just poop willy-nilly. That's not what we're saying.
Right.
You'll probably get arrested for indecent exposure or whatever. But what we are saying is it happens. There are some things you can do to prevent it. I think especially diet and timing, right? That feels
Yes.
like the big
Yep.
tip, and go before you go. But sometimes it's going to happen and you have to choose, are you going to run anyway?
Wow. Okay, so this because the Flux Epiphany is out, right?
Right. Yes, this is the
So
this is the episode following.
This is post. Okay. So I would say there actually could be some I can'ts in here. Like
Right.
if you're what do we used to say about sickness? Like if it's from the neck up.
From the neck up. Yep. Then
Or-
you can run. That's what we heard. I don't know where we heard that, but
Yeah.
we've said that to each other several times.
Yeah.
But if it's
But
if it's neck or below, like lungs or stomach, you probably shouldn't go.
yeah. So
Yep.
if you're feeling if you're guaranteed gonna poop on your run, don't go for that run. But if it's a surprise like Steven had,
Sometimes
just-
surprise.
give yourself some grace.
Yep.
Pack those wet wipes
Mm-hmm.
and know you're in good company.
Yes.
Dude, you and I have both confessed to this happening to us, so
Yep.
you're in good company, y'all. And maybe at the end, I don't know if people called in and shared any of their stories, but
Right. If you would, let's do that. So, Nation, thanks for listening. We appreciate you understanding that these
You
are
made it.
sensitive topics, but
Yeah.
you made it through this episode. If you have a story that you want to share with us, let's start here. You should call our number and leave a 1-minute story, because
Yeah.
we can maybe do another ep on this someday if it's hugely popular. But that number is
608-622-7669. That's 608 NBA Pony.
there's a lot of ways to contact us about this and other issues. Best thing to do is go to our Instagram and follow us there. That's 2 Gomers. And in the bio is our link tree. That's also in the copy of this episode. That's the best way to be able to go anywhere that we have. There's a whole bunch of links there. That's our link tree on Instagram. Rate, review, and subscribe to us on whatever app you're listening to us on right now. Thank you to Davis for our music, Jason and Eric for our graphics, Adam, our webmaster, Annie, our social media guru. If you want more Gomers, and I don't know why you wouldn't after this amazing app, you can go back and listen to more of those 10th anniversary episodes that we were just listening to. That's the fall of 2018. I should say, subscribe to us on Patreon. Our second podcast is called The Bonus Disc. This podcast, Overcoming Runner's Block, comes out every other Friday. But on those off Fridays, we put a perfect movie episode out on the bonus disc. And if you give at higher levels, you can get more bonus episodes every month. That's patreon.com/2gomers.
Awesome, dude. Well, thanks for being vulnerable, talking about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sharing
listening.
that story.
Yeah.
Right? By sharing our weaknesses, we build community.
Sharing is caring.
Yep.
All right. Well, great app.
Super fun, man. And remember, everybody, if we can do this, do what? If we can.
Once in a while, it hits us what we're doing.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, have
If
a
we can-
code
If
problem.
we can run even in the face of this block, of course.
Okay, got it. If we can do this, if we can overcome these blocks, you can do this.
And happy pooping.
Nice, dude.
All right.
All right, let's stop that.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, stop. All right, great.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.